This is the Lochby Field Journal. Now, this is a really interesting journal and it raises a question. Is it the perfect EDC or everyday carry journal that's also strong enough, tough enough, and has the perfect features for travel, adventures, and your expeditions? Well, there's certainly a lot going on here, and I think we can find out together. So join me today, won't you, as I go through this fantastic and interesting Lochby Field Journal. So I should mention that the good folks at Lochby sent me this field journal. I can use it, keep it, I don't have to send it back, but there's no other compensation and there's no editorial control, so I can say anything I want, and I will. So let's get into it now. I think the first thing you notice with the Lochby journal is just how tough it is. For one thing, it's made out of waxed canvas, which gives it almost the feeling of a barber jacket. So it's like having a barber jacket for your journal. Now, you also have this really nice double-stitched back pocket, which might not seem that handy, but you'd be surprised. I slip my phone in here when I carry this out in the field. So I always have my phone handy. I suppose you could put your wallet, a map, ticket stubs, whatever else. The other really interesting thing here on the outside is that it has this little carrying handle, which also is very, very handy. No pun intended. It's really great for when you're walking around a museum or somewhere else, you're keeping your journal handy, you have everything in here, and you can just grab this rather than pinching it and carrying it around like you would normally. So the strap is really handy and really well placed. It's also a way to sort of slide your hand in like this so that you can get a nice firm grasp. So it basically secures it to your hand if you are in a place where you want to hold on to your journal. Say you're bouncing around in the back of a Land Rover, or you're going down a river on a whitewater raft and you need to jot a few notes or check something within here. You can hook your hand in there. You have no worry about losing your journal. So this handle works both to carry and to secure it, which is very nice. I think another thing you'll notice is that you do get an external pen loop, which is nice, but certainly you would probably only want to put something like a Lamy Safari in there. You wouldn't want to put one of your nicer pens in the external loop, although it would fit. So it's expandable, it fits nicely, but you wouldn't want it to take too much of a beating being on the outside unless it were a rugged piece of kit like the Lamy Safari. I think another thing you see quickly is this almost like a climbing harness style secure latch for the journal. This has some interesting features. It hooks on there. It's made of aluminum. It's pretty light. It's got a nice matte finish on it and a nice pull tab. And the reason that is if you have a bunch of stuff in here, you can cinch it down, or you can cinch it down to be tighter if you have it kind of lean the way I do. But this is a very nice clasp. It hooks onto this bit of nylon here. Now, one little annoyance to me is I wish this were a bit stiffer. Sometimes it's a little fiddly trying to get this to slide on and off. It's doing it rather easily now because it's a controlled environment, but when you're out in the field, it can be a little tough sometimes to get this to latch. I feel like if this were stiff, it would slide in there and hook a bit better, but it's a very small comment. Now, you might see some of these scratches and things on the cover. That's part of the beauty. You can buff those out as you go, and it's just going to scratch and change and evolve and get a nice look as you use it. You can see I've already broken it in a bit. I've had some fun with this. Of course, my idea of adventures these days usually involve art. So let's open it up and see what we have. We have some really nice things here. As you can see, it comes with this Lochby dot grid paper, and I left this sleeve on there just because that's how it came. You'd probably take that off, but I wanted you to see what it looks like. You can see the size there. It's a little bit under 6 inches by about 8 inches, so a good size. And they give you the dot grid insert, and they say this can hold up to 4 of these. They recommend that you loop it here in the middle, which you can take one of these and loop it like this and have it nice and secure. But of course, the other thing that you could do is you could take it and put it into this flap, which is a nice handy flap here for your maps, for your photos, for your keepsakes, ticket stubs, whatever. It's still made of paper these days as you travel, but if you could hold on to it there and slide it in, which makes a nice way to hold it too, and you can just use these for securing other things. These are here and they make nice bookmarks. To be honest, I kind of find them to be a little bit in the way. I think I'll probably snip them off, or I really am fighting the tendency to want to tie them in a nice little bow just to keep them out of the way. So my sense of order doesn't really care for these bookmarks, but they are there, and if you have multiple journals and you want to keep your spot, they are good for that. Now over here you can see that there is really nice pockets, this one being deep, and this one is designed for your pens, so you can slip some pens in here. You could get quite a few if you'd like, as long as you're not afraid of them rubbing together, so keep that in mind. But these are great for credit cards, and when I use this, I leave my wallet at home. I put my driver's license in here and my Amex in here, and that's usually all I carry, and I'm good. This is also another little compartment with a bit of mesh. Very nice, but if it were me, I would have had this fully secure. I carry naproxen for my back sometimes and Prilosec, so sometimes I just throw them in my pockets, but I would have liked to have put them into a sealed compartment here. I think something that seals entirely would have been nice. We don't get that. Behind here is another big space to put whatever you like. So a lot of really nice options. Let's go back to the paper because it's interesting. Now, I mentioned earlier that this company is very fountain pen friendly. So they are fountain pen aficionados. Everything is made with that thought in mind. So this paper is actually Tomoe River paper, which is really nice to get as an insert. It's 68 GSM, so a really nice weight. The dot grid is nice. This gives you a lot of flexibility in the field. You can do drawings, you could do architecture, whatever you like. Here I did a nice sketch of a statue that's in the Museum of Fine Arts, and I was unfettered to do that since I had the dot matrix, yet you can follow the dots and it keeps your handwriting looking at least passable enough, which is nice. Also, say you're an ornithologist and you want to take some field notes, you could draw a picture of something you've seen, take some field notes, or, and I'm looking ahead to my Italy trip that I'm going on soon, you could sketch some architecture. This is supposed to be the Forum of Caesar where the cat sanctuary is. I love cats. And this is Castello Sant'Angelo, which that looks like Castello Sant'Angelo, I think. And some notes just to give you an idea. And then I wrote a bit in here and a little bit of sheen ink thrown on for good measure. So the Tomoe River shows a nice sheen. My handwriting looks decent on this. There we go. Here's a better shot of the sheen. So this will definitely bring out some nice characteristics to all of your inks and your writing. So very nice piece of kit there. I'd also like to mention that there is another pen loop here as well. So if you like to have one on the right side, which for many right-handed people, you like to have a pen on the right because you're used to that, you could slide this in here and be all set. Maybe you want to bring another pen, you can slip it over here. So a really nice piece of gear for whatever adventure awaits you. So let's run through some of the things I really like about this journal. I like the heavy duty latch. I like that this is waxed cotton, so you get a bit of water repellency to the outside. There's some toughness here, so you can be very hard on this journal. You can throw it in a bag, you can throw it in the corner, you can throw it in the back of your Jeep, you can throw it with your climbing gear. Whatever you're doing, this will hold up to it, which is very nice. I really like the handle. At first it sort of struck me as if it made it look like a purse, but then I realized that it's not just for carrying, it's also for grasping, and I really appreciated that feature. I love that there's pen loops everywhere, although the external one I probably wouldn't use. This is the one I would use, or the internal one. So that's nice. I feel like this nylon is tough enough. I think there's a balance there between toughness and weight. You don't want it to be too thick. If it were all made of canvas, this would start to get heavy and it wouldn't be as much fun to carry around. So you have to get that balance between carrying it and toughness. And I think this does it. I do like that this journal is light. It weighs about 10.5 ounces or 300 grams. So that's very light to just slip it in your bag when you're carrying it around. It also comes in some other colors. It comes in brown, black, or navy, but I quite like this brown. It just fits with that barber outdoor expedition aesthetic. The journal itself is 25 centimeters tall, 17 centimeters wide, and about 2.5 centimeters deep. So it is a really nice size to take with you. It's a size that you're kind of used to that just fits in with some of your other items. So I think the dimensions are nearly perfect, especially if you're using it to hold other items like phones and credit cards and wallets and whatnot. So the dimensions, the weights are all perfect. I like that it's more like a journal cover. For this reason, I'm going to be using this when I do B-roll and when I travel. I'm going to take this to Italy with me for when I'm taking notes out around the city and in the museums. But maybe I want different notes and different sets of notes. Maybe I want one book to be about the museums, and I want another book to be about the natural sites I see, and another one to be about architecture. So this is a really nice way to stack these up and to access them as I need. And one of the nice things is that you can order a 4-pack of these for $34 from Lochby, or I'm sure you can find your own out there in the market of Tomoe River smaller notebooks. They're out there, and it looks like it would fit a bit larger if you'd like that as well. So you have some flexibility there. That's something I like quite a bit. So the latch is just cool. Occasionally it gets in the way. I do really like this latch. Now, it's a bit of over-engineering here, but it just hints at climbing gear and rigs and just the outdoors and just really tough expedition grade materials. And I think that makes this a much tougher bit of kit. And I quite like that. I love the pocket in the back. I've used it, as I said, to stow my phone and other items. So there's a few things I don't like. Let me summarize them. This does get a little fiddly. I do wish this were stiffer. I'm not crazy about the bookmarks. I'm just going to use a piece of paper or something. I may clip these off. I do wish there was a zippered pocket for things you want to keep secure. Maybe you find some Roman coins or some gemstones. You need to get them back. You don't want them slipping out, especially in customs. That would be embarrassing. So a lot of fun here, a lot of really interesting things that you could do. You could even put your journal in here and not have it open if you wanted. So a lot of really nice options, a flexible platform for how you use your journal. So let's talk a bit about value and whether or not it's worth it. So let's talk a little bit about the value proposition. This journal costs $59 US and another $6.99 to ship it. So you're into it for around $66. Now, it is a tough piece of kit. I do like that. I feel like it has a bit of romance. It just feels like something that you would take if you were going to follow in the footsteps of Herodotus across North Africa to Egypt, or you were jumping in the back of a Land Rover to go off-roading somewhere in Devon, someplace interesting. This is a perfect journal also for museums, for bird watching, for whatever it is. It's pretty easy to integrate it into your life. And in having refills, you can use this and extend the life of it for quite a long time. So I don't think that $66 US is out of line for a journal that's renewable, that's tough, that you can really get to know and sort of form a relationship to. So you could probably find something even in the dark when you can't see it and just take some notes and journal and interact with it on the whole entire adventure of your life. So, what do you think of the Lochby Field Journal? Is it a journal that you'd like to add to your collection, put it in your journaling rotation? Let me know in the comments, and if you would like and share this video with someone else who you think might enjoy this kind of video, I would appreciate it. So, thanks so much for watching. I make new videos all the time, so if you want to keep up with everything, please subscribe. And if you want to support the channel even more, membership is available. Come on behind the scenes. We have a pen pal group for Cognoscenti and Illuminati members, so I'd love to see you there. I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so I can promise you we will see each other again very soon, maybe on a travel journey or expedition, but wherever it is, it'll be further up the road, so take care.